Capcom just hosted their very own showcase, and during this event we got quite a bit of Resident Evil news, so I figured I would make a recap video covering everything we saw in the showcase. With that said, let's get right into it. So the first thing that was announced was the long-awaited Resident Evil 8 DLC, and it's quite interesting. A lot of people had the idea that we would get Ada Wong DLC, a DLC for Chris and his crew, or the Four Lords DLC. All of these speculations were wrong, and instead we got a DLC centered around Rose. The official description of the DLC is as follows.
Rose, the beloved daughter of the main protagonist Ethan, is now a grown-up main character in this new story mode. In this sequel to the main story of Village, you can experience Rose's struggles with the terrifying powers she was born with. To break free of the curse of her powers, she enters the consciousness of the Megamycete. There, she meets a girl who looks just like her. In this mysterious realm of consciousness, time and space is warped beyond recognition. Rose is guided by a being who calls himself Michael, who might be of assistance with removing her powers.
Now guys, a few key takeaways from the trailer is that the Duke seems to be the main antagonist in this DLC, which is very weird since he was so helpful for Ethan in the original. We can also see a new type of enemy in the trailer, which is most likely another mutation from the Megamycete. Another thing to point out is the fact that the DLC will be played in a third-person perspective, and speaking of that, Capcom also announced a third-person option for the actual game as well. I'm really glad Capcom did this, just because some people preferred third-person over first, and it's really gonna make it feel like a completely different game. Aside from this, we also got some new additions to the Mercenaries game mode. We will be getting more maps and more playable characters. The characters shown at the showcase were Chris, Heisenberg, and Lady D. Right after this, a cover image of Reverse was shown, meaning that it will get released with the DLC. All of this content is set to come out October 28th of this year. Moving on, just like Capcom promised, we got a little bit of extra info on Resident Evil 4. Unfortunately, it wasn't anything crazy, but the major takeaway from it is that we got a little bit of cinematic gameplay showing Leon making his way to the first house in the game. The gameplay reveals that it will be third person and have a similar camera style to the RE2 and 3 remakes. Aside from this gameplay, we have some new scenes and images that were revealed. Firstly, we got a frontal view of Leon in a car on the way to the main village. Then from there, it transitions to a scene of Leon looking around the main village. This is most likely the scene where all the Ganados wander off to the church and Leon says the infamous line that we all know and love.
Where's everyone going? Bingo?
From here, the next new image we get is another close-up of Leon's character model standing by the fire in the main village. We then get another look at Ashley, though it's pretty much the same as we saw before, and then from there they give us a much better look at the Ganados in the game. To be honest, they look kinda terrifying, and it really gets me hyped to see the other models of enemies, like Dr. Salvador and the Garradors. Lastly, one more interesting point I want to bring to your attention is when they were discussing the game, they stated that it will be a reimagining of the original. So basically that confirms that it won't be a copy and paste with better graphics, and this means we could potentially see new enemies, locations, weapons, and much more. But anyways, that was pretty much all the Resident Evil 4 news we got. Not gonna lie, I was kinda hoping for more, but I guess something is better than nothing. Now the last thing that was revealed is the long-awaited next-gen upgrades for Resident Evil 7 and the RE2 and 3 remakes. These updates will include 4K support, 3D audio, and better frame rates as well. Most importantly though is that these updates are free for existing owners. If you already own any of these games, you can replay them on modern systems. If you own them on disc, then you can just pop the disc into the new console and get the update. If you own them digitally, the update should just come with the next time you download the game. Unfortunately though, if you own the disc but now own a discless variant of the current consoles, then it is possible that it might not work. Capcom has also confirmed that the save data and DLC will move over to the next gen consoles. These upgrades went live during the showcase, so you were actually able to play them right now. And there you have it, that was pretty much the full recap of this Capcom showcase. Make sure to let me know your thoughts about all these updates down in the comments below. And with that said, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.